Hello, everyone. Do you love reading and are you always on the lookout for new books? Are you exploring different languages? Do you need a quick way to discover the essence of literary works? Well, you've come to the right place. We are more than delighted to assist you with that. On our channel, you can enjoy concise summaries of the most beloved and best-selling books throughout human history. Our releases cover multiple languages, offering you the opportunity not only to delve into the book's content, but also to enrich your language skills. For example, you can listen to an episode in your target language while using subtitles in your native language or vice versa, which is excellent for practicing both listening and reading. Our channel offers content in Spanish, English, Russian, and French. A Tale of Two Cities is a historical novel published in 1859 by Charles Dickens. The total number of copies sold of this book has exceeded 200 million. The main characters: Dr. Manette, a brave man who spent a long time in confinement. Lucie Manette, his daughter, a beautiful and kind young woman. Charles Darnay, a longtime family friend, a young man accused of treason. Sidney Carton, a resolute man who helped free Charles. London, the second half of the 18th century. Jarvis Lorry, a high-ranking official of a major bank, travels to France on a delicate mission. He must inform Lucie Manette, his client's daughter, that her father is alive. Dr. Manette had been imprisoned in the Bastille for 18 years, and his family was unaware of this fact. Lucie had always believed that her father was dead. Overwhelmed by the news, she decides to accompany Lorry to bring her father back. They find Dr. Manette living with his former servant in a state of profound mental disorder, unaware of his freedom. Lucie succeeds in bringing her father back to life, and he now forgets about his past and leads a nearly ordinary life. 5 years later, the Manette family is involved in the trial of Charles Darnay, who is accused of treason. Thanks to the efforts of lawyer Sidney Carton, Darnay is completely acquitted. Darnay and Lucie fall in love and get married. Charles Darnay lives in England under an assumed name. In France, he was part of an aristocratic family from which he tried to disassociate himself by renouncing his hereditary rights. His French family was known for its cruelty towards common people. For this reason, the Marquis, Charles's uncle, becomes a victim of the Patriots, future revolutionaries, and the entire family is sentenced to death. When Lucie's father learns that Darnay is a descendant of the Marquis, he suffers a new mental breakdown because it was the Marquis who was involved in his unlawful imprisonment. The French Revolution begins, and power passes into the hands of the broad masses of the people. The country plunges into chaos, the French aristocracy flees, the king is arrested, old laws are replaced with new ones, and a new era of violence against those who oppressed the people for centuries commences. Charles Darnay decides to go to Paris to save his former servant from vengeance and punishment. Secretly from his family, he travels to France, but there he is arrested and thrown into prison as a representative of the aristocratic class. To save Charles, his entire family travels to Paris. Dr. Manette's influence in revolutionary circles allows him to intervene for Charles and insist on his release. After 2 years, Charles is acquitted of all charges and released from custody. However, he is arrested again. This time several people accuse him. A former servant with whom Dr. Manette lived after his release from the Bastille, his vengeful wife, and an unknown person. Charles is put on trial once more. It turns out that the third person who accused him is Lucy's father. After the storming of the Bastille, the former servant found Dr. Manette's diary in his cell, in which he described the atrocities committed by the Marquis and his brother against a peasant family. A pregnant woman was raped, her husband and brother were killed, and her sister was hidden somewhere unknown. Dr. Manette was invited to the Marquis's house to examine the peasant woman. She told him about the Marquis's outrages, and Manette decided to report it to the minister. However, the letter never reached its recipient, and Manette himself was thrown into the Bastille. In his diary, he cursed the entire family of the Marquis Evremond. After the revelations in court, Charles has no chance left. He is sentenced to death. Dr. Manette cannot save Charles and falls into a stupor once again. However, Sidney Carton, in love with Lucy, is willing to do anything not only for her, but also for her entire family. He uses his physical resemblance to Darnay to help him escape, remaining in prison in his place. Darnay and his family leave France safely. Carton is executed instead of Charles. The wife of the old servant turns out to be the sister of the peasant woman whom Charles's father and uncle violated. She wants to exterminate the entire Darnay family, including his wife. Her plans are thwarted by Lucy's governess, who kills the Avenger. The story ends with a description of subsequent events. A large number of patriots soon followed their victims to the guillotine. Charles and Lucy named their child after Carton and passed this story down to their descendants. Thank you for being with us. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, show your appreciation with likes, share our content, and leave your comments. Your involvement empowers us to further develop and expand our channel. So, which languages would you like to hear and read in?